Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. I can't believe nobody has picked up on this yet. We are going to tell you what was missing purposely off of Jay-Z's statement through Roc Nation. I heard people in the NFL are having some meetings about Jay-Z, big meetings. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Tuesday morning. Still not my favorite day of the week, but you know what? We made it through Monday, so I'm in a good mood. All right, on yesterday's episode, I promised you guys to do a deep dive into this new Jay-Z and Diddy lawsuit. In our Jay-Z segment, we're going to talk to you about three things that are not being covered on mainstream media. One, what was missing on Jay-Z's statement that he made via Roc Nation? Two, the real reason why Jay-Z was actually added to this Diddy lawsuit. And three, who is the female celebrity still yet unnamed in the lawsuit? In lead stories, we're going to discuss Tony Buzzbee's statement, Jay-Z's statement, and Diddy's statement that he made via his lawyer. We are also going to do a deep dive into Jay-Z's past history with a young Beyoncé and a young Foxy Brown. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss that. In quick news, we're going to discuss Jay-Z requesting for this accuser to reveal herself, critics calling out to the NFL to separate and end their deal with Jay-Z, and we're also going to discuss 50 Cent's reaction to this lawsuit. We're also going to discuss other news. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift ending her legendary tour, Daniel Penny being found not guilty, TikTok filing a motion with the Supreme Court, and a person of interest being detained in the United Healthcare case. As always, we're going to close out the show with question of the day and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. All right, normally we start off this show with lead stories or breaking news, but as we told you yesterday, we wanted to take our time, do our research, get on our calls, call our sources, and really do a thorough deep dive into this Jay-Z lawsuit, okay? We have done that. Literally, I almost got like no sleep last night. But I have three things that I really wanted to highlight before we get into the Jay-Z statement and all that, because a lot of you guys have heard of the statement and Tony Buzzbee's statement. We're going to get into all that, but I wanted to talk about three things that mainstream media are not covering, all right? Before that, for those of you who are seeing this on YouTube or on Spotify, I have a paper in my hand. I wrote down the things that I wanted to talk about for two reasons. One, because there's a lot of things going on. I want to make sure I cover everything. And two, more importantly, while we were on the phones and talking to sources and doing our research, two people told me that Roc Nation and Jay-Z have a whole team scouring the internet and making sure that content creators are not stepping out of line, and they will send cease and desist letters or legal letters with the quickness. So I wrote these things down, sent it to our lawyers to review it, just to make sure that we're in the clear with everything, all right? So the three things that we're going to talk about is what was missing on Jay-Z's statement. Nobody's talking about this. I don't understand. Maybe some people are a little afraid to talk about it, but we're going to touch on it as much as we can. The second thing that we're going to talk about is the real reason why Jay-Z has been added to this lawsuit. And the third thing is, who is a female celebrity that is yet to be named in this lawsuit? There's been a lot of rumors for a couple of days. We know who it is. We're not going to tell you. We're going to be straight up. But we have a little clip from somebody, but just stay tuned. But we are going to do our best to address that, okay? But first, we are going to talk about this statement, all right? So what I've written down is Jay-Z did not put his name in the press release. It didn't even say on behalf of Jay-Z. It doesn't say Sean Carter. It doesn't say Jay-Z. That is super interesting. Why? Is it shady or is it good legal practice? Jaguar Wright has always said that Jay-Z is smarter and slicker than Diddy. Is this exactly what she's talking about? His name is not on there. It doesn't say on behalf of anything. This statement cannot be held against Jay-Z. I checked that also too with our lawyers, okay? There are no facts in this Jay-Z statement. And I'll read the statement to you. I won't read the whole thing because, like I said, most of you already know Jay-Z's statement. But go back and read Jay-Z's statement. Jay-Z's name is not there. Sean Carter is not there. He doesn't even say Beyonce's name. He says my wife. He says my kids. And there's also no facts. There's not like, anyways, just listen to this lawyer's video and then we'll talk about it on the other side. But just think about it. No names cannot be attached to him. Didn't come out on his Instagram. Didn't come out from him. It just came out on Rock Nation. It doesn't even say anyone's name. But let's just go to the video.
This is apparently a statement from Jay-Z. It basically says, I'm built different. You don't want this smoke. He ends, I look forward to showing you just how different I am. What would be different is his lawyer to come out, hold the press conference, and lay out some facts. But there's no facts in any of these words. Till then, yeah, this just says bring it. That's all this says.
See how we started that? Seemingly from Jay-Z. That's what made me think like, what? Hold on a second. There is nothing that says Jay-Z there, okay? And like I said, this statement is really long, and I'm sure most of you have heard of the statement. If not, go ahead and Google it. So that is one. Jay-Z is not on this statement. Neither is Beyonce. Neither is any of the kids. And like that lawyer just said, and by the way, this is a prominent lawyer in New York, and there's no facts. He didn't say, hey, I was here at this time, or I was not there at this time. But like, he didn't give you any sort of factual investigation of to how he could not have been there. I'm not saying he was there. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm just saying is that normally when somebody is trying to defend themselves, they say, hey, this party was held on, let's say, for example, September the 10th. I was actually, the party was held September the 10th in New York. September the 10th, I was actually in Boston. There's no facts giving an alibi at all. And again, this statement that everybody is just assuming it's coming from Jay-Z came via Rock Nation. Nobody's talking about that. All right, let's move on to our second thing. All right. So the real reason why Jay-Z has been added to this case, this comes from Tony Buzzbee. The real reason why Jay-Z's name was added to the lawsuit was because Jay-Z was flexing his muscle, trying to show his power, and allegedly trying to scare Jane Doe. Jane Doe is the person who obviously is in this case, who is claiming that Jay-Z and Diddy did this to her. Okay. She is saying that at first she didn't want to name him, but because of him kind of badgering, and she was thinking about it, like, I'm not too sure for sure I want to talk about Diddy, but at first she didn't put the female or the male celebrity. She just said when they first filed it in, I think, September or August, it was filed as Celebrity A and Celebrity B. I guess through the communications with Tony Buzzbee, he was like, hey, do you want to settle? Do you want to do this? And through the talking, it's been alleged that, and we'll get into the alleged, that Jay-Z was kind of flexing his muscles and showing his power. And that was one of the reasons why she said, you know what? I am not going to be scared. I'm not going to be intimidated. I don't care who Jay-Z is. Stop all the talks. Add him to the lawsuit. Done. So some people are saying that Jay-Z is the one to blame. Maybe, again, who knows if this is true? This is alleged, but who knows if maybe he would have said, okay, you know what? Let's talk, or I don't want to, offer you any money, and maybe try to have taken a more gentler approach. Maybe it wouldn't have ended up like this. But apparently, from what we've been hearing, he was being brash, and his bravado and kind of flexing his power is the reason why she decided, you know what? Fine. We are going to not be afraid. We're not going to be intimidated. And it motivated her to come out and be like, at him. Now, having that said, let's get to the third thing that we want to talk about. Celebrity B, the female who is yet unnamed. Now, I said earlier, I know who it is, and Perez Hilton knows who it is. I'm going to just play a little video right now. Here's Perez Hilton.
We now know, according to this lawsuit, the male celebrity is Jay-Z. Who's the female celebrity? There's a lot of rumors. I've heard one name over and over again, not Beyoncé. Remember, it's the year 2000. Anyways, back to this lawsuit.
All right, so see, Perez is saying it's not Beyonce, but he knows who it is, and he's not saying it. Let me tell you the reason why Perez is not saying it, or neither am I. And I wrote this down to just be very clear, all right? And like I said, to be careful. So, word on the street is this unnamed female is waiting to see how things go with Jay-Z and the backlash that he is getting for not paying up and fighting this. I personally think things are going to get worse for Jay-Z, and he knows that, and that's why he's not coming out personally and saying anything, and he's only releasing this statement. That's what I talked to you in the first thing. So this girl talking with Jay-Z, all right, you go out first, put out this statement, let's see how it goes. Jay-Z has not been on camera. We haven't heard from Jay-Z. Put out the statement without your name on it. Let's see how things go. And then I'll decide what I'm going to do. Either pay this girl off or fight her like you, whatever. Tony Buzzbee has hit Jay-Z and this unknown female celebrity pretty hard with statements, which I'm going to get into. And I think he'll follow that up with other cases. And then Jay-Z will start losing deals, and then there'll be a downfall from there. There is already mounting pressure for Jay-Z, for Beyoncé to get a divorce from Jay-Z. And in my opinion, Trent Out Loud's opinion, I'm not hoping that happens. I'm just saying it might happen. So to reiterate, again, this is just my beliefs. This is what I think, that this is the first step. Everyone just, hey, all right, you don't want to pay, you don't want to do anything. Let's see what happens. Tony Buzzbee is going to now talk back with the female celebrity, talk back with Jay-Z, talk back with Jane Doe, see what you want to do. They're going to wait and see how this plays out in the public. Now, all of you know, it was all over every single mainstream media yesterday. How much legs is that going to have? With Diddy, it was on CNN, Fox, MSNBC, everywhere for days. Is this Jay-Z thing going to quiet down? Or is it going to keep on picking up? That is what they're going to see, right? Remember, this is not a criminal case. This is civil. It's all just about money. It's all about, hey, do you want to pay us to keep quiet, or we're going to keep on, talking your name in the media? Whoever loses or wins the media game wins, right? So I have a story in quick news that we'll get to soon, but there's already people pressuring the NFL to back out of Jay-Z's deal with them. If that goes, then there's other deals. Jay-Z has, let's not even name the amount of deals that Jay-Z has. It's 20, 30 deals. Same thing with Diddy. It was everybody was holding on. Then Ciroc, then it was Revolt, and then it just tumbled where he lost all his deals. Same thing with Kanye West. It was going. Adidas was the last one, and then Adidas fell. Everybody is just a wait and see. If the NFL drops, it just gets worse from there. Then maybe Jay-Z will pay this off. Maybe this female celebrity will not come out. We'll see what happens. I'll do my best to keep on talking with sources, seeing what's going on. Of course, I have to just be careful and not get myself in any trouble. But those are the rumblings that I have heard, making phone calls and talking with people in the industry. We're now going to go to lead stories. We're going to talk about the statement, Jay-Z and Diddy. There's some good stuff in there too that I didn't put in here that are a little bit easier to talk about that I don't have to write down. But let's go over to lead stories now and talk about some more details. Who is Tony Buzzbee and who sued him a couple of weeks ago? All right, so we have been talking about Tony Buzzbee on this podcast literally for the past month of the 120 lawsuits he brought against Diddy. There was another suit against him by one of his past clients, but there was one lawsuit that was brought against him in California from an unknown person. They filed as a John Doe. That has now been revealed that it was Jay-Z trying to have a judge keep Tony Buzzbee quiet. Here is the lawyer that we played just a couple of segments ago, talking about how big of a lawyer Tony Buzzbee is. I really wanted to highlight this because a lot of people are like, oh, this is this, Texas lawyer. Oh, he's just, Jay-Z's calling him an ambulance chaser. People are saying that he has no credibility. Just want you to know how big of a lawyer Tony Buzzbee is. Take a listen.
So here's the backstory from what I'm seeing. The lawyer who filed this lawsuit, his name is Tony Buzzbee. Tony Buzzbee is one of the most, if not the most successful lawyer in America. Now, we heard a few weeks ago how Tony Buzzbee, the lawyer, got sued. That person said, hey, I'm a celebrity. And this guy, Tony Buzzbee, is threatening me, saying that he's going to sue me. It's all lies. So you court have to stop him. Buzzbee, what does he do? He names Jay-Z as a defendant. Why would he do that? Remember when I told you he's one of the most successful lawyers in America? That's no joke. And so he's ready. He got his big boy pants on. He said, you want to go? Let's go. It's up.
I just wanted you guys to hear that. If not one of the most successful lawyer in America. That's who Jay-Z is going up against. Now, a lot of people I've heard online being like, yo, this is Jay-Z. He's built different than Diddy. Totally agree with you. Money longer, connections are longer, way more influential. And like what a lot of people are saying is that Jay has put a lot of people on, especially like in the media. He's done favors, people in the industry, so they're going to have his back. And trust me, Jay, like we all know the power that Jay-Z has. I'm just saying he's going up against one of the most successful lawyers in America. All right. Let's go now to our second lead story about Jay-Z's statement. Our second lead story, Jay-Z reacts to allegations and he says, I'm a young man who made it out the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play those types of games. All right. We did allude to the statement earlier, but for those of you who have not heard it or read it, again, it's very long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to highlight a couple of things. Basically, he's saying that Tony Buzzbee is attempting to extort him. It's blackmail. He said that he will not pay him one red penny. He put it in cap locks. He called Tony Buzzbee a lawyer, but in quotations. He says that these allegations are hideous. And he also said that he implores him, Tony Buzzbee, to file a criminal complaint. One of the another key things which we haven't talked about. Now, again, this statement, like I said to earlier, is very well thought out. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, when the report came out about Jay-Z being added to this lawsuit, this statement came out literally like 2 minutes after. Jay and his team and his lawyers knew that it was coming, so this was prepared. They've been working on this for days, if not weeks, okay? So the fact that they put this criminal complaint, like file a criminal complaint, Jay-Z's lawyers know that the statute of limitation has passed, that this has happened 25 years ago. So some people are like, oh yeah, see, I agree with him. If you guys are just going after money, you're an ambulance chaser. Well, why don't you file criminally? Well, you can't because the statute of limitation has passed. However, on the flip side, like I said, I have no skin in the game. I'm just telling you guys the facts. The facts are, well, why didn't you press charges during the statute of limitation? But that just goes to a whole bigger issue of, when people feel comfortable to come forward, et cetera, et cetera. But the point is that Jay-Z and his team knew what they were doing by putting in that criminal complaint. Some other things where he says that he feels bad for the victims. He feels bad now that, he's actually going to have to sit down and speak with his kids who are of age, that they have friends that are definitely going to ask them about this. And now he has to sit down and explain to them how there are horrible people in the world, like Tony Buzzbee. He said that his heart is broken for people. He says that his heart and support goes out to victims around the world who have to watch, things like this, go out and cheap lawsuits, etc. All right. He ended off by saying, I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Again, everyone's running with that being like, oh, yo, Jay-Z, oh my gosh, this is going to set a new precedent. I even heard Lauren LaRosa on The Breakfast Club, shout out to The Breakfast Club, and Lauren, she said, hey, if Jay-Z fights this and wins, this will set a new precedent for people like Tony Buzzbee going after celebrities. And I know a lot of people have his back for sure, but Again, talking about Charlemagne, talking about the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne is the one who says, nobody believes the truth when the lie is more entertaining. Like I told you earlier, this is not really about anything else other than who can control the narrative in the media. And if you ask me, just a bystander who's just looking at this, so far, the plaintiff, Jane Doe, has laid out some facts, and Jay-Z hasn't even come out and made a statement with his name on it. So if you ask me, just in my opinion, they are 1 and Jay-Z is 0 right now, and it's weighing more on Jane Doe and Tony Buzzbee's side. Again, just my opinion. But all right, let's go over now. I think we're going to talk about Tony Buzzbee's response to Jay-Z. Our third lead story, attorney Tony Buzzbee, who filed a civil suit against Jay-Z, shares an Instagram post after the rapper accused him of extortion. All right, so remember, like I just told you, that Jay-Z's statement was about bravado. Yo, you're going to see playing with me. Tony Buzzbee came back out and had a bravado statement of his own and also some accusations. So he posted this on Instagram and he put a picture of himself in this Marine outfit. He said, I won't read the whole thing. I'll just take out some highlights like I did with Jay-Z. He's like, remember this guy? This is a picture of a commander, a Marine. And despite your efforts of trying to contact my clients, former clients, encouraging them to defame me and see if I did anything wrong and harassing them, I am still that guy. And he put like that guy in cap locks. Like, you are not going to have me back down. I won't be afraid of you. All right. He said, you're not going to intimidate me, and people will see through these efforts of you trying to discredit me and my clients, and everything will be revealed. He said, the sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I am quite certain the sun is coming. So that was Tony Buzzbee. These are just two male bravado guys being like, yo, don't play with me. All right, don't play with me. Like I told you, one is Jay-Z, who is huge and powerful. But you're also talking about Tony Buzzbee, who was arguably one of the most successful. And the key word is successful, meaning that he's had success. Not big, like, oh, he makes a lot of, like, he has a lot of money or clients. Like, success, meaning that he has one of the best track records. Just saying. Our fourth lead story, Tony Buzzbee, who is representing Jay-Z, Accuser, reacts to his statements and says the rapper is trying to intimidate him. All right, so, let me see where this is here. All right, so this is a second statement that he put out after the bravado statement. And I'll take out some parts. I won't read the whole thing. He said, Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. Again, remember I told you earlier that we didn't know who this California Jane Doe person was that was trying to stop Tony Buzzbee. He's saying that Jay-Z didn't admit to it, and now there is proof that it was him. He said he filed this frivolous case under a John Doe. What he failed to say in his statement is my firm sent his lawyer a letter of demand on behalf of the alleged victims, and the victim never demanded a penny from him. Instead, she only sought a confidential mediation. Since I sent this letter on her behalf, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he has tried to discredit me and her. His conduct has been opposite of impact. She is emboldened, and I am very proud of her resolve. That's what I told you earlier, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, we said that we wanted to sit down and talk to you. We said we want to have a confidential mediation, and you went and sued me, and you tried to intimidate her. No problem. It emboldened us. We're here for you. So he says, as far as the allegations, we will let the filing speak for itself, and we'll litigate the facts in court, not the media. Two things. That's not true. He definitely wants it in the media, or else he wouldn't have put it in the media. And another thing to highlight here is saying that he wanted a confidential mediation. That is not true, because this is a civil case. So to say, hey, we didn't ask a penny from you, we just wanted to have a mediation. Well, why do you want to have a mediation if you don't want money from me? And on a civil case is only about money. So it doesn't really make sense that you're like, hey, we didn't ask you for a penny. That's lawyer trickery. And again, he's trying to play the media so people will be like, oh, he didn't even ask for a penny, or she didn't ask for a penny. She just wanted to talk with him. Well, why do you want to talk with him if you don't want money from him? Then you wouldn't be filing a civil lawsuit. So that's one of the mistakes that Tony Buzzbee is making. All right, let's go on now to Diddy, because Diddy ain't going to stay quiet. His lawyers made a statement. Our fifth lead story. Diddy's lawyer responds to claims made in the new Jane Doe lawsuit. His lawyer said, this amendment complaint and the recent lawsuit against Mr. Buzbee exposes his barrage of legal lawsuits against Mr. Combs for what they are: shameless publicity stunts, distractions to extract payment from celebrities who fear having lies spread about them, just as lies has been spread about Mr. Combs. As his legal team has said before, Mr. Combs is fully confident in the facts and the integrity of the justice procedures. In court, the truth will prevail. Mr. Combs never did anything that he was accused of, including any man or any woman. So, look, we have talked enough about Diddy. Let's not talk about Diddy. I'm sure most of you out there have deemed Diddy guilty or not guilty, but we've done enough. Let's really stick on Jay-Z. But I just wanted to tell you that, of course, Diddy's lawyers are going to be like, hey, we just want to let you guys know, we've been telling you all this whole time about Tony Buzzbee. Now you see that Jay-Z is suing him and saying the same thing we have. I don't blame them. Of course they're going to do that. The more people, and especially powerful people like Jay-Z that you have in your corner saying that this is not true, it's going to help, their case. It's not going to help in the criminal case with the feds, and I think that's what Diddy's team should be worried about. But of course, they have to take any advantage that they could get, right? All right, let's deep dive now into Jay-Z's past with young Beyoncé and Foxy Brown. All right, I found this on Twitter, not my work, so real quick MIS, shout out to you. He highlighted like 18 things. I'm going to only take out the things that are really important. So it starts off by saying, as Michael Jackson said, one day the truth will come out. So here is a thread exposing Jay-Z and his involvement with young Beyoncé. All right. So, all right, here's the first thing. He says, Beyoncé and Jay-Z met when she was 16 years old in 1997 and began dating in 1999, according to a 2007 interview. Beyoncé has always been susceptible to a few fraudulent slips. She never seemed able to define her age and the time of their first courtship. Beyoncé went on record saying that she was 17, 18, and 19, depending on the series of interviews that you go to. So Jay-Z and Beyoncé met at some point. In an interview in 2018 with 17 magazine, Beyoncé said she met Jay-Z when she was 18, which would be in the late 1999 or 2000s. But according to a 2007 Charlie Rosen interview, Jay-Z said he met Beyoncé 10 years ago, which would be in 1997. All right. So the third point is, Beyoncé met Jay-Z in 1997 when she was 16 years old, and they have a picture. So just to recap, because I might be going a little quick, but Beyoncé has made some slips sometimes. Hey, it was this year, it was that year, it was whatever, depending on which interview. Jay-Z said, and I think I have the interview coming up, but he said, hey, I met Jay-Z. I met her in 97. She would have been 16. And there's a picture, and this is apparently from 1997, when she was 16. So here it is. So in 1997, here is the interview where when Jay-Z said that he met Beyoncé. Take a listen.
Beyoncé has a deal there. I know her. But I'm not her. However long she's been recording.
In a 2007 interview, Jay-Z said that he first noticed Beyoncé 10 years ago. She recorded her first Destiny's Child album at the age of 15. Confirming that he knew / was checking on Beyoncé since she was 15 or 16. Beyoncé recorded No, No, No at the age of 15. Okay. All right. So the next point was the 17 magazine, which I already told you guys about, but I'll read to you some other things that she said in the magazine. She said, on finally settling down with Jay-Z, she said, I was 18 years old when we first met, 19 when we first started dating. No one expected me to run off and get married. I really don't believe that you will love the same thing when you're 20 as you do at 30. So that was my rule. Before the age of 25, I would never get married. I felt like you have to get to know yourself, get to know what you want, spend some time by yourself, and be proud of who you are before you share that with somebody else. His 11th point is look at Jay-Z's face when talked about when on MTV's, I think this is probably TRL, and this is Carson Daly asking when they first met, look carefully how Jay-Z looks at Beyonce. Listen to this.
How did two of the biggest names in music even meet?
Well, we met a long time ago. Award shows, a lot of different performances.
See, it was like we met at award shows. It was just like, hey, what age? It's always been speculative. It's never been like, this is the exact age, all right? 13th point, before getting married, Beyonce told Jay-Z that he taught her how to be a woman. Here's another video that's circulating around.
You taught me how to be a woman. You taught me how to live. You taught me how to be a friend. You've given me so much in life.
Again, just to give context and to be fair, when you put all of these things together, it looks bad. I'm not saying it's bad or not, but when you put these things together in the context with this lawsuit, this is what this guy is trying to do. But it's making its round, so I wanted to share it with you. 14th point, another example of Jay-Z being manipulative was he refused to let Beyonce perform with Sean Paul at the VMAs, being the only man on stage with B. And he also didn't let her perform together with him in the video. I remember that being a big rumor in the industry back in the day. Here's a picture I'm going to put up beside me of Beyonce and Sean Paul. But if you guys watch that video, they're never in the scene together, which is super weird, but whatever. Again, his 16th point is, again, as mentioned in previous posts, Jay-Z has always had a questionable dating history. He used to date Rosario Dawson, and she is also 10 years younger than him. The 17th point is that Nas has made it a point to allude to the fact that Jay-Z was around R. Kelly. We already know all the accusations with R. Kelly and Nas at one point, not now, but in one point back in the day, he was like, yo, why is Jay-Z always around R. Kelly? We already know about him, and Jay-Z had albums with him and et cetera, et cetera. And it was only after the court case and he was found guilty why Jay stopped hanging out with him. It was before that, because I think it was like on tour, they started, beefing and they sort of separated. But again, like I said, they're just trying to piece a couple of things together. All right, there's another thing which I'm really not going to get into. There's a woman that claims that Jay-Z was the father of her child. For you guys out there who know about Jay and all his past, you know that this has been an ongoing thing with Jay-Z having a son that he's never confirmed or committed to, and this woman now is popping back up, of course, saying that she wasn't of age. They did wear protection, et cetera, et cetera. But again, I'm not going to get into that. Sorry, yes, an illegitimate child. That's the word I was looking for. So there's that. And then there was Foxy Brown. All right, so here is Wendy Williams' video that's going viral again. Everyone's kind of bringing this up. Here's Wendy Williams alluding to Foxy Brown. For those of you who don't know, Clark Kent, shout out to Clark Kent, was Foxy Brown's, by the way, Clark Kent just passed away a couple of weeks ago. Clark Kent is Foxy Brown's cousin, hooked Jay-Z up with Foxy Brown. And a lot of you who don't know, it was Biggie and Lil' Kim and Jay-Z and Foxy Brown. And people are saying that Jay-Z wrote for Foxy and maybe that they were together, when in her younger days. All right. Here's Wendy Williams.
Allegedly a romantical thing. It's all right. I'll say alleged, but we know. Yeah, she hit it before Beyonce.
Fox, she's a baby, but she listens to me. You know what I mean?
She's a baby, but she listens to me. Another clip that's making its rounds. And here we have what's this? Charleston White. Charleston White is no credibility, but just to let you guys know things that are going around. Listen to this.
Like celebrities. That's why they ignored Jay-Z's action when Foxy Brown came out and said he was putting that horse in the Source magazine. Remember that interview? Foxy Brown came out and said Jay-Z when she was 16.
All right, and the last thing about Foxy Brown, and I didn't even really believe this, but Foxy Brown reacts to news about Jay-Z being included in this lawsuit. And you know what she put in her stories? I literally went to her Instagram and I seen it. She put a big emoji, the eye open emoji, and she said, wait. And then her next emoji was the freezing face emoji. Like, what does that mean, Foxy? What does that mean? What? So, like I said, all of these things are coming back up. Beyoncé, Foxy Brown, Wendy Williams, the Charleston White, Nas, everybody who was accusing him of doing all of these things. And then the one person that could like shut down all the rumors, Foxy, she could not say anything, but she just comes out and is like, wait, we will see. Is Foxy going to be another Cassie? Will she reach out to Jade? Will she file a suit? Who knows? Who knows what is going on? I've heard a lot of things, but of course, like I told you, Rock Nation is watching the internet very, very diligently. So I have to be very careful, but don't be surprised if you see other things coming about. That's all I have to say. All right, let's go now to Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, making a little slip on the internet. Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, likes a post from ABC News about Jay-Z being added to the Diddy lawsuit. It says, Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, likes a post from ABC about Jay-Z. Everyone is wondering what's really good with Tina liking the post. However, others are waiting on the response to say her finger just slipped. So, like, yo, I have seen that it has come out that she said her finger just slipped. But again, like I said, for those of you who know the Jay-Z Beyonce story, you know that for sure Tina loves her son-in-law. But Solange, the Jay-Z elevator situation, for those of you who don't know, Google it. Was it a slip? Was it a message? Who knows? We shall see. Not going to say anything else. We'll see what goes on, all right? All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Jay-Z requests that the accuser in the lawsuit reveals herself. Jay-Z is requesting that the judge require the woman, Jane Doe, accusing him in the Diddy case to identify herself. According to legal documents obtained by TMZ, Jay-Z's attorney has filed a motion Monday morning. The document urged, fair is fair. It's not consistent with justice, fairness for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear Jay-Z's good name. They also emphasized that Jay-Z's impeccable reputation, noting he has never faced any such allegations. Jay-Z further requested that if the judge does not compel the accuser to reveal her identity, that the case be dismissed altogether. All right. We all knew this was coming. I told you guys last week, and I think even in yesterday's show, that one of the lawsuits, a Tony Buzzbee lawsuit, the judge made the person reveal her name. She filed as a Jane Doe, and it was revealed that it was, I don't even remember her name now, sorry, but it was the NHL's ex-wife, an NHL player's ex-wife, something Kane, if I'm not mistaken. And last week we told you about that too, where once one judge says, hey, you cannot file under a Jane Doe, all they have to do is now take it to another judge and say, hey, this is a similar case. This should be precedent. You need to come out and say who your name is. And that's one of the things why they do it. They're like, if you don't say what your name is, then you got to dismiss the case. This might be a little bit different because of the age of when this happened. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is Jay-Z's first move. Once again, it's not Jay-Z, it's his lawyer doing this on his behalf. We have yet to hear from Jay-Z himself, but this is their first move since being added to the lawsuit. Our second quick story Critics call for the NFL to separate from Jay-Z after he's accused and implemented in the civil lawsuit with Diddy. This is crazy. I didn't think this would happen this fast, but I knew they would go after the NFL for sure, because this is, one of Jay-Z's like biggest accomplishments and biggest partners. They are the biggest name in sports globally. Some are calling for the NFL to walk away from its partnership with Jay-Z. The backlash stems from the Roc Nation founder being accused and named in the civil suit against Diddy. Sean Jay-Z Carter wasted no time denying the claims. However, despite his statement expressing his innocence, some have demanded that the NFL immediately end its partnership with Jay-Z. As reported previously, in 2019, Jay-Z's Roc Nation inked a deal to serve as the league's live music entertainment strategist. In October of 2024, it was announced that the parties extended the agreement. Details surrounding the new deal are limited, but the initial contract meant to boast the NFL's efforts around social justice and help the league's endeavors with music and entertainment was reportedly worth $25 million. See, Jay-Z is a billionaire. A contract for $25 million needs nothing, but the fact that you could say that you partner with the NFL is huge and will help Jay-Z in a plethora of other deals. Losing this could spiral out of control. For sure, it's the Jay-Z haters that are going after him and other people who just believe this. So this is pivotal. This is very important. This is going to be key in what will happen next. Like I said, this will be key to finding out who the female is in this lawsuit and to see if Jay-Z will actually pay up. If you guys remember, Diddy at first didn't pay Cassie. Fodder came out and then said, all right, I'll pay you. We'll see what happens. Our third quick story, 50 Cent reacts to Jay-Z being accused in the civil lawsuit along with Diddy. All right, y'all know that 50 Cent, of course, had to come around and say something. He does not like Diddy, nor does he like Jay. They have both conspired, he says, according to him, to kind of like hold him back and, hold him down in the industry. Jay-Z, it's been reported, well, pretty much 50 Cent just came out and said it on Cameron's podcast last week that Jay-Z did not want him performing at the Super Bowl. So this is 50 Cent laughing back at Jay. He put this, he said, okay, I don't know what's going on, but are we still going to have a Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend. So that's just 50 digging in to Jay-Z. And of course, I had to put that in there for a little bit of fun. A couple of other celebs have weighed in. Meek Mills was like, oh, this is the narrative, the media. Lil Duval said something too, where it's like, you just put that out there. People will just put anything out there and people will believing. Other than those 2-3 people and 50, I haven't heard much people talk about it, right? Like Academics said, a lot of people are afraid to touch this because of how powerful Jay-Z is. Y'all know us. We're definitely going to talk about it. We are obviously going to be careful how we talk about it for sure. We don't want any sort of lawsuits or even problems with Jay, right? Y'all know I'm a big Jay fan. He's one of my top 3 rappers of all time. I've said it here before. And this is in no way to say if he's guilty or not guilty or if we believe it or not. As always, even when we talk about Diddy, we're just here to report everything that's going on and just let you know what we think about it. And, we do our research, talk to our sources and try to, give you some information that might not be out there on mainstream media. So that's all this is about. But anyways, 50 Cent, that was funny. Our fourth quick story, Taylor Swift tour is now the highest grossing tour ever, earning $2.07 billion. Taylor Swift's tour has officially come to an end. It ended off actually in Vancouver on Sunday, but now the final numbers have been revealed. It is the largest grossing tour ever. Normally you hear about, the largest grossing hip hop tour, like I think it's Drake with 380 million and then 50 Cent and then Kendrick Lamar, whatever. Or you hear Beyonce, like Taylor, this is not even in the hundreds of millions and not even in the billions, $2 billion, man. I'm not a Swiftie, but shout out to Taylor. Our fifth quick story. Cardi B spotted with a mystery man at a New York Knicks game. That's all I got. Like, there's not even like a write-up that goes to this. We know that we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. Cardi B and Offset broke up. I think it was just on Friday we talked about Krishan Rock saying that, you know, she was with Offset, her best friend, you know, spilling the tea, saying that she left her earring or her ring for Cardi B to hear it. Cardi B has been linked with other people. I have said they're going to get back together. This, you know, how Cardi B is. She always gets mad and, you know, gets back with Offset. I think this is the first time we're actually seeing her out with another guy. For those of you who are not seeing the picture, she kind of has her hand on his chest and his head in the picture. Not saying that it is dating, but Cardi B is a major celebrity. She knows what she's doing. Is she trolling us or is she trolling Offset? I'm still not fully giving up on them yet. I really don't know if they're going to get divorced. Only when they get divorced is when I'll accept it, but we'll see what Cardi B's up to. I don't know. I'm actually lost with this one. Our sixth quick story. Daniel Penny was found not guilty in his New York trial. Daniel Penny was cleared by a Manhattan jury of all charges in the Jordan Neely subway case. I remember when this case first hit like a year and a half ago. I'm going to just reserve how I feel about this case. He was tried, found not guilty on all counts. The prosecution was like, okay, maybe not on the more severe charges, but on the lesser charges. I'm sure all of you by now have seen the video, knows what happened. It was clear, you could see on the video. But the jury of 12 has made their decision. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section below about this case. I say all the time, this is the democratic society. We have a court case. You got to respect the decision of the court. But yeah, I'll leave it to you guys to let me know if you think he's guilty or not. Our seventh quick story. TikTok files emergency motion to halt the ban in the US. We have talked to you guys about this a bunch already. We told you guys that TikTok was going to file a motion in the Supreme Court, a further ban January 19th. The only reason why they did this was, like we told you guys yesterday, I think it was, they're just doing this because they feel like Trump is going to stop all of this. Donald Trump, when he was campaigning, he said that he is not in favor of this ban. So they literally just filed this to wait for the Supreme Court to hear about it, but they're not even hoping to go to the Supreme Court. They're just waiting for Donald Trump to get in office. They'll go right to Donald Trump, make a deal with him, and then Trump as president, or maybe under executive order, he could just stop this whole ban of TikTok. That's their whole thing. So everyone is like, oh, I was going to the Supreme Court, It's just a smokescreen to stop. The ban is January the 19th. Trump gets into office the 20th. So this gives them a couple of weeks to go to Donald Trump and talk to them. Our eighth quick story. Luigi, 26 years old, has been identified as the suspect in the United Healthcare CEO case. All right, he has been caught and apprehended. As I speak right now, no charges have been laid. But for a few hours ago, they were saying that there was a suspect, and now they're saying that they have him in custody. They're questioning him. They said that he was taken into custody from a Pennsylvania McDonald's, and he was caught with a manifesto that appeared to have a list of grievances from the healthcare industry. He has yet to been charged. They also said that they found a couple other things on him, but there's a lot of moving parts. So I don't want to say too much, but apparently this is the person who is of interest. I'll put up his picture. I think there's a picture of him that we have. Yeah, I put it up. There's another picture of him like holding like McDonald's beside him or whatever. But from what we know now at this time, they have the person of interest. He's in custody. We'll let you know on tomorrow's show if they press charges and they have the right person or not. All right, this brings us to question of the day. All right, we're running low on time, so we have to go really quickly. Do you think social media has shaped the culture in recent years? Maya82 said, it's made it almost impossible to date. Tone82 says, social media has ruined a whole generation. Slim Dog 52 said, definitely created a lot of clout chasing. Somebody else said, for the worst. A lot of miseducation and bad information. And a lot of people, somebody else said, a lot of us are going downhill. Lack of basic morals and empathy. Basically, to answer the question today really quickly, a lot of people think that social media is horrible. I tend to disagree as a content creator and somebody who loves social media. I will agree that social media is not all positive. However, I do think it gives people an avenue to showcase themselves and who they are. Of course, that leads to some misinformation, 100%. I think that people, I've been on record saying that I think companies or the government needs to find a way to mitigate that a little bit. There's certain things that I could say that news agencies can't say and not be liable. But like I told you that how like Rock Nation is looking into things. Everything is not just free speech on the internet. Anyways, I digress. Social media has given people a chance to have a platform. 20 years ago, I wouldn't be able to have a show like this. I would have to be able to go to like ABC or a network to be like, hey, I want to have the Trend Out Loud show. Now I'm able to have my own show and have my own viewers and get to you, the people. That's what I love about social media. With all good things, bad things come. I've said this before. When radio first came out, it was, oh my gosh, radio. No one's ever going to leave the house. It's horrible. When TV came out, oh, now it's really bad. First, radio was bad. Now kids are never going to go outside. And then it was the internet. Now it's social media. With a new medium, always comes good and bad. Us as a society just have to know what the good and bads are and then how to navigate through that. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Send me an email, trendoutloud@cfqr600.com. All right, that brings us to sports news. Baseball star Juan Soto and the New York Mets signed a 15-year, $765 million contract, the largest deal in professional sports history. All right, I don't know a lot about baseball, and I'm running low on time, so I can't really talk too much about this story, but shout out to you. Biggest contract. Baseball players be getting paid a lot of money, yo. Anyways, that is it. I got to wrap up. Thank you so much for kicking with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Literally worked all night on it. I hope you guys like it. Before I let you go, I just want to remind you guys of all the ways to keep up with the Trend Out Loud podcast. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube or listening to it on podcast platforms, please try to check me out Monday through Friday from 11 to 12 on CFQR600.com or 600 AM if you're in the Montreal area on your radio. We do play the Trend Out Loud podcast, but we mix in 90s and 2000s hip-hop and R&B. It is your way to get your entertainment and viral news while listening to your favorite hits from the 90s and 2000s. And I selected music, so you know it's going to be dope, all right? Check me out. Vice versa. For those who are used to listening to the Trend Out Loud podcast on CFQR 600, and you cannot always catch the show between 11 to 12, we get it, you're busy. We're going to give you 3 ways to keep up to date with the show on CFQR 600's website, which you can get to globally, anybody in the world, CFQR600.com. When you click Listen Live, there's a second button that says Listen On Demand. Just click right there. All 394 Trend Out Loud episodes will pop up. Listen as your heart desires. So that's there. Secondly, you can always catch us on YouTube. As you guys know, we upload daily. Check us out on YouTube. And third, you can check us out on any podcast platform. Just go to your desired site, type in Trend Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. You can check me out on any social platform. It's always the same handle, Trend Out Loud. Don't forget to follow the media company, Accuser Media, on Instagram. For those of you who are tuned in on CFQR 600 right now, do not touch that dial. My boy, Don Smooth, is coming up next with the lunch mix from 12 to 1. And you know, Don is always dropping the hits. I'll see y'all tomorrow, Hump Day Wednesday. Y'all know what that is, my third favorite day of the week. Why? Because it means we're 2 days away from the weekend. Look at me, it's Tuesday. I'm already thinking about the weekend. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Peace! Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trend Out Loud. Peace!